Hey friends, it's Nicole. So you guys, I wanted to talk to you guys about the levels of addiction, okay? Because I feel like it's really important, and I think it'll help you guys also, because maybe you can identify what level you're on and if you are a real drug addict or alcoholic. So I'm getting my information from my own personal experience, and I'm also getting my information from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, because I do attend a 12-step fellowship AA, and I go to meetings and I have a sponsor, and I finished working the 12 steps, and now I'm working on being able to become a sponsor for other women, and I'm actually mentoring a couple of girls right now, so that really helps me a lot to stay sober, working with other people. It also helps me stay sober by talking to you guys. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this because I am going to the doctor today to talk about getting off Suboxone, and I want y'all to know how serious it is that I am choosing to taper off my medication, because for me, if I taper off my medication and for some reason I decide to go out and I relapse, like, it's not going to be just on a pill. I'm not going to go out and just get a hydrocodone or a Vicodin or a Roxy. I'm going to go out and I'm going to shoot up drugs. And I could lose everything I have. And so my addiction wasn't just a beginning addiction. My addiction wasn't just a little pill problem. My addiction wasn't, it was a 12, 13-year problem. I have been using drugs since I was 17. And I'm 36 now? 36. Okay? So that's 20 years almost, you guys. That's like so much. 36 years old. I started using when I was 17 years old. I started shooting up when I was 24. So I want to talk to you guys about the levels they are, and I want to give you guys I want to teach you guys, okay? So I went into this on my last live stream, but it was kind of like all broke because I was on a live and I was talking to you guys at the same time. So now since I'm on recording and y'all are watching me, then I can just talk to you guys and we can start this out. So first of all, addiction is a disease. The disease of addiction centers in your mind. Okay, it's a mental disorder, straight up. If you are an opiate or an alcoholic or a benzo user, it is also in your body because you become physically dependent on those medications. So, but it centers in the mind and it does take part in the body. Okay, the cycle of addiction goes like this. Whenever you're triggered, okay, after you first first of all, addiction is like an allergic reaction. You don't know you have the disease of addiction until you use drugs and set that allergic reaction off. So I'm walking around, for example, okay, I was a young child. I was 17, 18 years old, and I got prescribed some hydrocodones, and my mom had some Percocets. I didn't know I was a drug addict. I took those, and what happened is it set this craving off in my body, and my body was like, my body metabolized the drugs differently than somebody else's body would, and what that does is that caused me to want more. That's how the disease of addiction is like an allergy, because you don't know that you have it. You could have two people, one person who has the disease and the other person who doesn't. And person A who has the disease of addiction is going to want more drugs. Person B is going to take the hydrocodone and leave it and say, I don't want to feel like that ever again. I hate the way that made me feel, you know? And that's the difference. Like, there's a huge difference. And then there's a difference between addiction and dependence. Like right now, I am dependent on Suboxone because I've been taking it for 3 years. But I'm not like addicted to it, and I don't take it addictively. I don't practice addictive behaviors. I don't sell my drugs. I don't, you know, like try to shoot them up or nothing like that. So I wanted to explain to you guys, like, there are 3 levels to addiction, and it starts out like this. And this is coming out of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. So I'm going to substitute where it says alcohol for drugs. Now, these are commonplace observations on drug addicts, which we hear all the time. We see that these expressions refer to people whose reactions are very different from ours. Yeah? Moderate addicts or moderate drinkers have little trouble in giving up liquor or drugs entirely if they have a good reason for it. So somebody who is moderately addicted to drugs can give it up, can say, I don't want to use anymore. I can't do that. I'm going to lose my kids. I am going to go to jail.
Mommy, I ate bubble gum.
Was it good?
Yeah. I have
they can take it or leave it alone. That's a person who is moderately addicted, or a moderate user, a moderate drinker. Okay, but they're not addicted because they can take it or leave it. Then there is the hard drinker or the hard user. Okay, we may have the habit badly enough to gradually impair him physically and mentally. It may cause him to die a few years before his time. If a strong reason, ill health, falling in love, change of environment, or the warning of a doctor becomes operative, this man can also stop. Although he may find it difficult and troublesome and may even need medical attention. So the hard drinker or hard user can also stop. They might have to go to treatment. They might have to go to rehab. But these things like the doctor telling them they're going to die, or falling in love, or maybe moving, they can stop using. Like they don't have that desire to use. Like they can take it or leave it also. And then there is the real alcoholic or the real drug addict. He may start off as a moderate drinker or user. He may or may not become a continuous hard drinker. But at some stage of his drinking career or using career, he begins to lose all control of his liquor or drug consumption once he starts to drink or use. So a real alcoholic, once they start, they cannot stop. Once they start, they lose control. Once they start putting substances in their body, that's all their body does is tell them more, more, more. And it sets off a phenomenon of craving in the mind. And then if you are drinking or doing benzos or doing opiates, then your body is also saying, I need more of that to feel good. I need more of that to feel good. So there's levels to addiction, and what I think is what happens is a lot of people who maybe just had a problem overtaking medications or abusing pills, where their addiction didn't take them, down through there like mine did. And so I've been on Suboxone for 3 years because I needed that insurance plan, basically, because if I relapsed, my son was going to be taken away from me forever. My rights were going to be terminated.
Look at my bubble gum.
Say hi to everybody, guys. Hi.
Look at my bubble gum.
Yeah. So I think it's very important for people to know that there's different levels to it, and it's not just like. And I'm not proud that I got taken down to the last level, you guys. I'm not like, oh yeah, but I want y'all to understand like how serious it is for me. Like if I'm tapering off Suboxone, I have to be 100% ready. I have to have a foolproof plan. I have to have family come down so I can stay at home. I have to call my job and take off from my job. I have to have somebody to watch my son. Like this is no joke. But Suboxone is not keeping me sober. I went from a gram a day methamphetamine habit, 3 Roxy 30s, plus whatever else pills I could get my hands on. That's the thing. It just varied. Shooting up cocaine, smoking crack, and eating hydros, somas, benzos. Anything I couldn't shoot in a needle, I would just eat it. And I can't just. I have to be careful with the decisions that I'm making because it's not about me anymore. But the Suboxone was recommended to me because of my constant relapses. I had been to 6 treatment centers before I got sober this time, you guys. 6. Okay? I had been to prison a time before that. Okay? When your drug addiction takes you to where you're locked up in prison because then you can comment down below, okay? And let me know how that affected you. Okay? I'm not just I have the disease of addiction. And Suboxone is not keeping me clean, because I can use any drugs I want to use. I could stop taking Suboxone and go shoot up a Roxy's. I could stop taking my Suboxone and I could go get high on meth. I could go get high on meth today on Suboxone. I could get high on anything on Suboxone if I wanted to. That's the thing. Everything about my life has changed. I have started I go to meetings. I help other people. I tell my story. I run groups for other people to get help. Like, everything in my life has changed. The desire to use, I don't have it anymore because of changing everything in my life. Because I've changed my thinking. Because I've reached out and gotten help. You know, Suboxone is not helping me at all. In fact, it's hindering me now. In fact, now it's time that I'm going to get off. I have to get off now because now I'm just taking it because I have to, you guys. At the beginning, I was 30 days sober when I got out of treatment, but I was scared I was going to relapse. So I got put on Suboxone. I didn't know there was a Vivitrol shot. This was really like 3 years ago. I didn't know about these things, and the doctor didn't recommend Vivitrol to me, or else that probably would have been an awesome option for me. But that just wasn't the case. You know, and I came out of treatment and my husband was already on Suboxone, and it was like, I need to do something. I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to lose my son. I just get so upset when I hear people like, they don't have any idea. But anyways, I love you guys. Bye.